How do I accept my family that is negligent and primitive, and that I'm ashamed of? A little introduction first. I am 26-year-old male, and I have been living with my fiancée for 5 years. I have been raised in a very primitive, borderline homeless environment, not always because of lack of money. They are very loving, honest, and with good morals, only that they give zero thoughts about how they look, how they smell, how dirty everything is in the house, etc. So I had very bad manners when I met my partner, who was the complete opposite to me. She was always clean and neat, always on time, very well spoken, very smart. We had a very hard time when we moved together. I won't go into that, but luckily with time and her effort, I managed to learn how to dress properly, how important it is to have a good hygiene, and how to take care of myself. So now that I live my day-to-day life in a very clean environment, and now that I have good manners, and I am always very clean, you can imagine the shock we feel when we visit my parents. About them, my mother, my father, and my sister that is 5 years younger than me live together. Through the time we had some ups and downs financially, but about 7 years ago my dad made some moves and he managed to get into position of earning a very decent money, even with looking like a hobo, and now the lack of money can't be an excuse for how they live. They all smoke 2 packs a day, they eat very badly, like the only vegetable they eat are onions, absolutely never wash their teeth. Both my mother and father are functional alcoholics. Functional I mean is that they don't drink throughout the day. My father is always a high achiever in his workplace, and never had problems, but at the evening they both drink like 2 liters of beer. I must add that they are the loving drunk, so when they are drunk, they are never aggressive or anything, and are pretty calm. All of their teeth are rotten. Mine used to be bad too, but luckily my partner pushed me to get mine fixed before all of them fall out, and now with a good cleaning routine they are as new. They shower maybe 2 times a week. The clothes they wear are very worn, almost all have holes in them, and of course they wear them for a long time before washing them. They maybe vacuum once a month. They don't really care about the dirt they bring in with their shoes, or what falls down from the table or counter, so when we go in, our socks get very dirty, and you can feel every bit of dirt under you. In Europe you take your shoes off in the house, unfortunately. The kitchen and the bathroom I don't even know how to describe. It looks as if it hasn't been cleaned in years. Faeces all over the toilet, dried on. The bath is limescally and rusty. Mold is growing everywhere. You get the point. My father is constantly working, and he's the breadwinner of the family. My mom and my sister do absolutely nothing. You would think that they would at least keep the household, but instead they just lay around all day watching some movies. They eat, drink and smoke cigarettes. Nothing else. Even the shopping falls to my dad. At least my father is active and takes care of these things. He has bad manners too, by the way. He bought a brand new Audi, and when we went to visit them the car was 6 months old. It looked like it has been sitting in the forest for 20 years. Bird shit on the car, the inside was full of cigarette filters and ashes and thrash. It smelled so bad inside I did not wanted to sit in it to try it out. Every wedding or party we visited, they were always the most bad looking. The list has no end how bad they live, but in the nutshell, I am very ashamed of them. I feel like I managed to outgrow them in every aspect. I feel the bad about my sister, because I see the change my fiancée had brought in my life, and without her I would still be living like them, unaware of what other people might think of us. They love us with all of their hearts and they would do anything for us, but the problem is, the best thing they would do is if they change, which is impossible. They never knew better than this. Our wedding is next year and I am already cringing about the vision of my wife's parents standing all with elegant clothes, very well behaved, and next to them my parents, in their day-to-day clothes. They are waiting to be grandparents, but I can't imagine bringing my kids to their house. Even if they visit I must be on high alert on how they behave around the child so that it does not learn a bad manner. TLDR, they are too dirty, and neglect every aspect of their life, not because they are poor, but because they don't care. They love us with all their heart, and they would not want any bad for us. They are morally very good, but I wouldn't let my children in their house. How do I accept them? How can I continue living with them in my life? I am scared to think that the only option is if I just remove them from my life and move on. Does anyone have a similar story?